So the second one we have here now, keeping it with the Thanksgiving theme. Now at Thanksgiving, and maybe it's just my family alone, but usually there's typically one dish at the table that everyone just avoids and don't want to touch it, but you have to make a choice, and usually you have three choices to make, right? So it's either gonna be I'm gonna just suck it up and eat it. I'm gonna, eat it because I don't want to hurt the person's feeling. I'm gonna just not eat it at all and say, you know what? I know how it's gonna taste. I'm not putting myself through that. Or option three, you're gonna put it on your plate, but you know you're not gonna eat it, but you're just gonna take it out. And when you get the opportunity, you kind of just slide it away to the side. So, which one of those options would you typically go with?
So I'm usually the one that, to be polite, I'll at least put a little bit on my plate, like just
Okay.
a little, and then I'll taste it. And then if I don't like it, slide it to the side. And for a long time, that was whatever dish I made. My dish was the thing they put. And I'm telling you, I'm not a bad cook, but they just be like, they put. And I usually make like something experimental, so that's why. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what did she do this time? So I made like this kale salad. It's like a cold salad with
Uh-huh.
like vinaigrette dressing, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
look at it and just kind of get a little bit. But you know, maybe the
Okay.
next time they'll put some of my collard greens on their plate and
That's right.
help me out here,
Okay.
Sheila.
I
Okay.
know, right? You're right there. You were in there with the collard greens.
But at least I'm honest. I know that
That's
that's
what I'm
my
saying.
dish. They're gonna just be
That's
polite.
that's
And you see how
fine. That's fine. So let me ask one more question pertaining to food now. In terms of potato salads, right? Would you say potato salads should ever be made with raisins in it? Now, if you see someone made raisins in potato salad, now what's your thoughts behind that?
I say no because it's sweet. So if you're gonna put raisins, maybe do like a sweet potato, something like
Mm,
warm with raisins. But I wouldn't put it with regular potato salad. Not if there's mayonnaise and onions and stuff like that mixed in. I wouldn't put raisins.
It's a little unsettling for me. Like I
Yeah.
just like it's just a little unsettling for me.
The wrong family. It's not the potato salad.
Exactly.
Food family.
Right.
It's not the potato salad for me. All right. So one last question now pertaining to Christmas. Now, well, not the last question with Christmas, but the first rather. Now, the holiday season is kicking off. Typically, when would you put up your Christmas tree and decoration? And how long after do you leave it up? Because, sometimes you go into people's house, it can be February, you're transitioning, to Valentine's and the decoration. Exactly. It's still up there. Summer would catch it, then you still got the. Which one of those people are you?
I usually wait till like day after Thanksgiving, so Black Friday shopping and all that.
Okay.
I'm setting up the tree, and then New Year's Eve, taking it down and getting ready for fireworks or whatever New Year's, celebrations.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
You don't go past, the first of the year with a tree, especially if it's a real tree, because those little
stems,
it starts falling, and there's a mess to clean up. So I try to give it just maybe a month, and that's about it.
Yeah, see, for many years we used to do the real tree, but it's one of those things, when you're pulling it up and it's nicely covered, it's like it's so easy. And at the time we lived on the third floor, so you're like pulling it up to the third floor. It's awesome, it's great. But once you've cut that tree and that tree opens up, and now after the holiday you got to drag that thing, oh my gosh, it used to be
so good. It smells so good.
Yeah, but when you're taking that tree out of the house, it's like a trail of mess all the way.
But I love the live tree. I mean, you just kind of got to sweep around it every day. Shedding all the time.
Now they have those little skirt things people put around it, so they
gather it.
But it does have a good crowd. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Chanel, go ahead.
So I have to tell you, the single "You Deserve" has to be like in my top 5 faves.
Oh, thank you.
Like I just love it. And when I listen to it, it's just this authentic sound of worship that's just so natural, and I'm trying to find the right words: natural, earthy, flowy. I just love.
Yes. Just relaxes you. Yes.
And I was driving home listening to it tonight again, and I was like, man, her voice and the purity in the sound is really, really what got me. The authenticity of it, the purity of it is just beautiful.
Thank you.
So if
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you to share a little bit about where that song came from, why that song. We can talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I'll tell you, I really have to thank Rod Lumpkin and Sean Hill, the producers of that song, because they do all the recording and mixing and all that stuff. And I love working with them because they let me just be me. So I was always afraid to sing in the studio because I would be writing these songs, but I kept thinking these songs are for somebody else. And they would say, no, you can sing these songs. And they would show me how to just be me, just breathe and not try to overly do anything, trying to sound like anybody else, just to be me. So I'm very thankful for working with them because they give it that fresh contemporary sound. And they help me to kind of learn my voice and learn my style. So I love working with them. This song, actually, I think I wrote the song back in 2018. I was in a really hard place. Have you ever been where you felt like, but God, you told me to take this step, or I thought I heard you say, do this. And then you did it and it didn't work out like you thought.
Absolutely.
Like, well, what? Well, you have to explain this to me, God. I was like David, in the Psalms when David is like, but Lord, I'm in this cave and I'm supposed to be king and all my enemies are coming against me. Like my plans are not working like I thought you said they would,
Right.
And I found myself in that place. And in the middle of it, I just really stopped to think. But when I think of all you've done, how you gave your only son, I just fall to my knees because at the end of the day, you deserve the glory, the praise, the honor, the worship. You're worthy of it all. And all my complaints, I just ended up saying, I can't explain it. I'm not in control. You still deserve the glory. And that's really where that song came from. And so that song really got me out of that sunken place. And God took that song and used it. And it's been blessing people and it's on the charts. And thank you to all the stations who are playing it, to all people who are downloading it. So I just pray that it's been an encouragement for others as well.
Absolutely, it really has. And the range, sister, the range.
Thank you. That's Rod Lumpkin too. He gets on his keyboard and he says, "No, you can go more. Let me push you some more." And he'll start playing all the way to the edge of his keys, like those high notes. He's like, "Sing that," and I'm like, "Okay." And he just really pushes me. So he really makes me bring out whatever is inside.
It's working. We love it.
Now even with that too, because that was one of the projects or one of the singles you partnered with Uncle Freddie, right?
Yes.
Fred Jerkins with We Break Records and so forth. So how was that partnership and overall just working with him, working with his team? Because we had him on earlier in the year. We did an interview and he just seems like, such a genuine, honest, down to earth person. So how was that relationship when
He
you guys
is exactly what you said, genuine and honest. When I met with him, it really became a situation of just, okay, so what do you want to do with this song? Let's take it there. I want to break this song for you. And when he heard the song, I love his honesty because he will say, "Let me hear what you have." And then when you play it, if it's not good, he'll say, "No, that's not." He can tell in the first few seconds, and he will tell you, "No, that's not it. What else do you have?" So when I played this one, he said, I think that might be, and that's for you, because again, I was showing him songs other people were demoing for me that I wanted to shop, because I'm thinking I'm just a writer. I'm not gonna really sing. And when he heard this song, he said, "No, you need to sing this. Why are you singing? Why are you having these other people singing your songs?" And I was just like, "What is? I don't know." And he's just like, "Nope, this is the song." He took it home that night and he called me and he said, "I've been playing this song over and over. My wife's been playing this song over and over. This is gonna be the one. And let's work the song." So his We Break Records is all the radio promotion. So he was responsible for calling the stations, getting it played, and he's working with us now as well on my next project with some special guests. He's lined up some special features.
Okay.
Yes, but he's very good because he's honest and he will tell you this needs to have this. It's not fresh, or this needs live instruments, or no, that's not it. Go back and work on it some more. But when it's the one, he will confirm that's the one. Let's take that one to the top. And he works hard for you too. He's every week. He's like, "Okay, it's number 30. Okay, this week it's 26, 25. I'm gonna make a few more calls." And before you know it, he's like, we broke top 10. We're number 7. Just he stays with the project. He stays with his songs and he works those records.
And that was one of the things that I even, what even brought it to my attention too, because again, I follow him, I follow what he's doing. Obviously he's one of the icons in the industry with everything else that he brought to the table. So whenever you see, he's working on a project, everyone tend to like, okay, let's make sure we keep this project in our radars. And then as we kept seeing it, like you said, 1 week it's here and then it's coming back. And then when it broke top 10, I was like, wow, that's just amazing. It was like,
he believed in it. It made me believe in it even more. Like, okay, let me do some more songs. Let me trust that I can sing these songs. Like if he hears it and you figure he's heard everything and written for everybody. So if he hears it and likes it, then maybe there's something that is there that I'm not seeing. So it gave me that confidence.
Yeah.
Right. Is it similar to what happened with Born to Die?
Yes. So that song, it's funny. That song has a story because I wrote that song in 1999. Almost 20 years ago. Yeah. And I was just sitting at work one day thinking about the holidays around this same time, Thanksgiving time, stressing out about shopping for gifts and all the hustle and bustle we do before Christmas. That has nothing to do with Christmas, right? And so I'm all stressed out.
That in the song.
Yes. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with anything. This holiday is all about you, Jesus. You were born to die for us. And the song just came forward with the lyrics. So I wrote the song and I kept it for about 10 years. Just on my, we didn't have iPhones back then, but on my little, music recorder. And what I would do then, I would call my house and leave a voicemail and sing my songs on the voicemail. So we had, voice memos. And I just held that song. And so about 10 years later, I recorded it with the local artist in Tallahassee, Florida, Omega Forbes. So you may have heard his version of it on YouTube floating around. And we recorded, it was nice. I did some backgrounds and I could not let that song go. So 10 years more later, I recorded it again with Rod Lumpkin and Sean Hill. And he just took took the song, made it contemporary and fresh, and made it so that I could sing it. And again, pushed me to really feel the song, because again, I was trying to get other people to sing my music. And he's like, no, this song is going to be timeless. This is, you know, a great song, but you would never believe it's like 20 years old.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Yeah. And it's the same message, right? We
Right.
celebrate Christmas every year. So it's the same thing, just reminding us Jesus is the reason. It sounds like, you know, cliche, but he's the reason for the season. He's why we celebrate. And we celebrate the fact that he was born, but he was born to die for us.
And that's what I was going to say, because even looking at part of the lyrics I have pulled up here, but in all the celebration, we've forgotten why he came. And then even as you go down a little bit there and you talked about, you know, so that we can live abundantly without guilt and shame, you know, he was born to die. So it's even the way in which you actually, you know, pen those words. And it's like, it's so like, it can transcend, you know, it can be 10 years, 20 years. Someone can be listening to it for the very first time. And even as we were working together and you sent it and we were doing some other stuff around that, and I'm like playing it and I'm playing it again and I'm playing it. Then I played it for my wife and then I played it again. And I'm like, this song is so good. Like it just keeps rolling with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And you know what just came to mind? Contemporary hymns. Because hymns are timeless and the message stays, but the music behind it is what makes it contemporary. So it's just classic.
I love that. I love that. And you'll see my next project has some more songs that are like hymns, repeating stanzas, repeating verses and choruses. I have some other ones that I've been doing in churches, because I've been writing for praise and worship teams in churches all these years.
Oh, okay.
And they sing choruses. And I think you're right, Chanel. I need to be thinking of myself as a hymn writer, you know, and not so much for radio, but if it gets on radio, that's great. It may not fit whatever the current style is at the time, but it's just a timeless message.
Right. With a contemporary feel.
Yeah.
So you're a part of an organization, right? You're a member of the National Association of Black Female Executive in Music and Entertainment. That's quite a mouthful, but it sounds like an amazing organization. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So I joined NAPFEM probably about 10 years ago. And NAPFEM is an organization of women, Black women, who are involved in media, entertainment, business, law, just really networking with each other, helping each other with opportunities to further the business. So I don't know about this year, but it's a membership organization, puts on an annual conference. They have virtual meetups. They have, you know, now everything's virtual, but usually live meetups. But it's just really to bring industry people in. And so they bring in, you know, record label executives, attorneys, just to talk about how to be about your business as a Black female in entertainment. There's even people that write for film and TV that tell you how to get, you know, sync licenses and how to take your music to the next level. And they sponsor a concert program. It's called Women Who Jam. And so I don't know if you've heard of that. And it has a logo of like a lady with this big afro kind of turned to the side. And it's just like a open mic night looking for new talent. And they actually sponsored a contest some years ago. They write theme songs. They did the Break the Silence for domestic violence theme song. So it's just a group that lets other women know about opportunities in music. But it's executives, it's label owners, attorneys, and people in music to help other women, you know, improve their careers in music and entertainment.
Love that. Absolutely love it. We need more female empowerment sources.
Yes. And there's chapters all over the country. I want to say world, but for sure all over the country. So I'm a part of the Atlanta chapter. I know there's one in New Jersey, Detroit. So you can just go to their website, NABFEM, and, you know, join and just, you know, get connected.
That's great.
Check it out. That's good to know.
From New York.
Yes.
I'm here in New York.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now, so you were mentioning that just now, but from a like a musical influence perspective, who are some of your musical influencers?
So many. So my mother was a 1970s hippie. And so she listened to I grew up listening to all of her music. So I listened to Mamas and the Papas. I listened to Jimi Hendrix, Sarah Vaughan, all of her people, Barbara Streisand. And I listened to Broadway musicals a lot growing up. And then I kind of came into my own, of course, the classic, Whitney Houston's and, Aretha Franklin, all of those, Stevie Wonder, all of those. But as far as gospel, I'm very much influenced by Helena Barrington. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but Dr. Helena Barrington and Dr. Kenneth Barrington were my pastors and still are.
Okay.
College, and they wrote a lot for Ron Canoli. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Righteousness, Peace, Join the Holy Ghost, and Album Slaughter. So been writing all these years. So I sat under that mantle.
Oh wow.
I'd say that's when I really realized that I could write. Just sitting in church and seeing the impact of songs like live, in worships, what we call now spontaneous worship. They were doing that 20 years ago. And they were dancing in church, 20 years ago. People thought they were crazy. So they've been a major influence just from my writing. And as far as singing, of course, Yolanda Adams. I love, even the newer artists now, Miranda Curtis. Of course, I love the Clark sisters. All those people are influences. I like jazz. I like country, classical, just whatever.
And all of that comes together in a really beautiful way in your work. Like all of those names that you mentioned, they just all come together. And it's funny you talked about, your parents' music. While listening to it, I heard my parents' music. I'm like, this sounds like Wendy Rose Neville's way back 20 something years ago. I'm like, oh my God, because it's all of that is in there. It's just evident.
Thank you. I love it all. I love Oleta Adams. I love Michael Jackson. I just feel like there's something, to be inspired by all these different artists. And on my next project, you'll hear some up-tempo, some slow, some worship, some stuff that sounds like, Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's just all over the place, because I just feel like our message is not limited to the type of music that it's carried in. So I just try not to limit myself to one style of music. So I'm inspired by all of it.
But even as an artist too, though, right? I mean, even as a writer, I should say, you will learn to appreciate all different styles, how someone puts something together, how, you've taken a simple thought, but able to relate in such a way. So I think, and again, like Chanel mentioned too, as you're listening to your, to your lyrics, you're listening to your words. Like I'm constantly, as I'm going back through it, even though I've played it like, maybe like 10 times already for the weekend, I'm going to go play it again. It's one of those things, even as I'm telling others, like, listen, you need to add this to your holiday playlist. Like you need to add this. Like, it just gives you this feeling. It puts you in a place, and like, you're going back and thinking about those, those holiday memories, those Christmas memories, those things that, like really makes you even stop and think, like, what does Christmas means to me? And even for you, like, let's just say if I ask that for you, like, what does Christmas mean to you? Like, what does this season means for you?
It's everything that's in the song. Like I try to tell a story, with the song, and try to tell stories when I write my music. And Christmas, of course, is about Jesus and him being born, which we talked about. But it's also about winter. It's about that feeling of a New Year's around the corner. It's about that feeling of we're going to be joining with family and eating, and people maybe don't like your dish, but they're still polite. It's about who's going to have the best cake and the best pie, and, all of that stuff that comes, eating the turkey or the ham or whatever. It's going to be a time where you'll see your family again and just celebrate each other and love, and, have gifts, and maybe you don't have gifts, because, Christmas is not about the gifts.
Right.
But it's a season of giving, and maybe you could use it as, if you don't have a gift to give, you can give with charity, you can give with community service, but it's just a time of giving in general and joy. It's kind of what I feel like. I can feel like fairy dust and sparkles, and like snowflakes, and, I just feel that feeling with Christmas.
Yeah, the spirit of hope and giving.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, for sure.
Exactly. Now, growing up, what was one of your, I guess you would say, and it could be, what was one of your favorite holiday memories? Like, what's something that you would say kind of resonates?
It's funny, growing up, even though my husband has a very large family, I grew up with a very small family. So for the past, I've been married now 25 years. So for the past, and my husband and I dated 5 years before we got married. So for the past 30 years, I've been with his big family celebrating Christmas. And my small family, comes to his family's Christmas. We've just become one big family, right? But before I met my husband, it was just me and my sister and my mom. We were just a small family. We would go to my grandmother's house and have Christmas. And it was just a few of us. So we would always have this big turkey and stuffing, everything, and ham and everything. My grandmother would say, "Why do we have all this food? It's just us. All I need is a ham." So from that day, and I still to this day, I mail my grandmother in Miami. She's 87 years old. I mail her a ham, just a ham. Every year.
Wow.
I have one shipped to her because the memory is we don't need all this extra stuff. It's just us. And so even when we started celebrating with my husband's family, I would come by and sit with my grandmother and we would just eat ham. He would have the other side dishes, but she never wanted a turkey.
Right.
So it was just about, this is all we need. We have all we need.
Togetherness.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But we want everyone to know, stream and download Angela Moss Poole's new EP, Born to Die. Angela, where can we learn more about the full EP that will be coming out soon?
So soon I'll have some feelers out there. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting some sneak peeks of some of the songs that I'm working on. You'll see a song called Grace that I'm working on with Gia Wire. She's a national recording artist. She's been in plays all over the world. She leads praise and worship. She's down in Miami, so she's doing a duet with me. And then there's another special guest doing a duet. So this next project will have a lot of features and duets in the spring, but I'm starting to post some little sneak peeks. But you'll be able to find that on my website in the spring. And you can just go to my YouTube channel, Angela Moss Poole. You can go to my website, Angela Moss Poole, or my Instagram at Angela Moss Poole.
Yes.
Basically all things.
All things. And also get on your iPhones, get on your Android. Sure, when you're an Android guy.
It's all good. I'm loving my Android. That's just me, Team Android.
I won't hold that against you.
Yeah. And there's so much Angela Moss music there. Like you just go and there's You Deserve. There's a lot of great stuff. So sit tight and enjoy that good music until the EP comes out.
Yes. Angela, thank you so much for, just chatting with us. And listen, once the EP's out, we have to have you back, okay?
Absolutely.
We need to bring you back. Once that EP's out, I know it might be a busy season, you're gonna be doing everything else, but if you can, sneak in about 15-20 minutes for us, we will be much appreciative.
I'll be glad to do that. And thank you so much for spending this time with me to talk about Born to Die and You Deserve. And I really appreciate all the support, and I just can't wait to continue to partner with Gospel Music Buzz and do some promotion and let the whole world know how awesome you guys are.
Thank you so much, much appreciated. So you enjoy the rest of the the evening. We got Thanksgiving coming up, so enjoy that time with your family. Enjoy those collard greens.
I know. Let me get my recipe started.
Take care. Thanks again.